Okay, we're going to go over some training aids in this video. I'm going to go over 3 basic ones. There's lots of training aids that you can do when you're training, but these little things can help you through plateaus easily when limiting factors come into play when it's actually not the muscle that's fatigued. Sometimes people think that you're cheating using training aids. It's the opposite. You're helping your body. You're not cheating using training aids. So I'm going to show you 3 basic ones that I think every single person should use in every single training session, because these 3 cover anything that you'll do. Any type of strength training session that you'll do, you can use at least 2 of these things. First one's chalk, opposite to lube, which is chalk. So I like Liquid Grip. You get these off various websites, strengthshop.com and things like that. I had to put a bit on so you know what to use. You only need these a little bit. So it's literally like, if anything comes out, it's like, I don't know, that much. Rub it into your whole hands. It might feel a bit weird at first. It'll dry quite quick. If you're ever doing things where the bar will be touching your body, for example, a front squat, you can put the chalk on your shoulders as well. So it's always a good idea to do that. So I would if I was doing front squats, I would wear a top where my skin would touch the bar, and I would put the chalk on the skin, okay? I'll just use that one example. So as it's drying now, and as you can see from this is my bar, I use a lot of chalk on here as well. So chalk on the bar is a good thing. If your gym starts kicking off about chalk, then I'd go and join a new gym, because they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing if they're kicking off about chalk. So chalk's a good thing. Chalk on the bar is a good thing. So there's lots of different ways you can get it, but liquid grip's my favorite, or liquid chalk if you get a good one. So you can use that in pretty much anything you do, because your grip will always come into play. And the stronger your grip is, the stronger your strength will be. If you have a loose grip on a bar, if you're trying to do a bar and you've got a really loose grip, then you're not going to have a lot of strength. So make sure that your grip's always very tight. So it doesn't matter if you're doing a push or a pull or whatever it is. I'd always use chalk, because I can't really think of anything that it's not going to come in handy on, unless you're doing, I don't know, some load of bollocks exercise. But anyway, that's for another video. So we're going to go over on your pulling day. So if you're ever doing like a deadlift or a pull-up, mainly for deadlifts, variations of deadlifts as well, these come into play. The limiting factor will probably be your strength, unless you're doing 1 repetition. Even 1 repetition, your limiting factor will probably be strength as well. So I'll show you briefly how to do it, but this, I need to stress, this takes practice to get good at. I've been probably using these on and off maybe 10 years now. You know, obviously not every day, but you get the idea. I would get good at using both hands at the same time, so you can wrap both hands simultaneously. So I'm just going to show you one so you get the idea. So if you're wrapping it around the bar, you figure out where your grip would go, and obviously you would have 2. I'm just going to show you one, because we can only zoom on one hand. You need to wrap it around quite tight. Okay, I'm going to show you this with one hand just so you know how it should look. So you kind of wrap it around a little bit. Now you can call it whatever you want. I call it motorbiking. So when you motorbike, you do this. So you move the bar, and then you reposition your hand over it more. Do it again, and then try and reposition more. So it gets tighter and tighter as you do. Now that, I could probably go a little bit tighter. So to reposition again. So that's pretty tight now. So if I did a deadlift now, I'd probably add in maybe, I don't know, 30-40% to my grip strength. So you got to think when that comes into play, your grip isn't going to go. Yeah, your grip's going to stay strong. So these are pretty cool. Then when you finish, you just pop them off. To make sure you got it right, you want to be looking at an A. So you could probably see a V from that angle, but as you're looking down the hand, this follows the 2 middle fingers, and you'll be looking at an A. So it kind of looks like this. These are I've had these for years, but they're all pretty much the same. I would go for, I think these cost me literally about £3, maybe 3 years ago. And, you know, they're still in pretty decent shape, kind of. I mean, I could do some new ones, but you get the idea. So yeah, you don't need to spend crazy like 30-40 on pairs. And I would get this. There's lots of pairs where they have hooks on and some that wrap, but personally I think these are the best ones. Yes, you can get more expensive, it's your choice, but you can get a pair that will last you a while for like £3. So that you'd use them on pushing days, or if you're doing something like a wide bench press as well, you can wrap it on a wide bench, because your grip might go wide, and you kind of sometimes slip if you're doing extremely wide bench press for powerlifters and things like that. Okay, these are probably my favorite actually, the wrist straps. So these help on anything where your wrist comes into play. So any type of pushing exercise is great. So if you're doing like bench pressing or dumbbell press, overhead presses, also things where you don't want your wrist to be the limiting factor for things like front squats as well. This is great for making sure they're tight. And again, this is a bit of a knack to it. I'll show you how to put it on the right hands. I find it easier than the left hand because of the way they're designed. And I always go for a shorter. I prefer the short ones. You might prefer the long one, just because the long one's a bit more, you have to wrap them a lot more. I prefer these ones. Titansupport.com. I can't remember, I bought them years ago. But you get the idea. So what you would do, you would wrap them around the joint, not around the wrist, because it won't do anything. So you want to wrap it kind of half, so the joint's kind of in the middle. So the idea is just stopping the bend in the wrist. So you would wrap it loosely first, okay? Let me see if you can, let me do it this way so you can see. You got that? Then you would untie it, wrap it into your other hand, wrap it tight around your other hand, so you're unwrapping it, then re-wrap it tight, so you're really pulling on it. When you're nearly all the way around, put it against your body so you don't lose the tension, then wrap it round. So it should feel uncomfortably tight. Like you can see now the veins in my hand are starting to swell, so you don't want to hold this for too long. Then you have to take the little string off, or you're going to knacker it out and it'll pop at some point. But now, if I was doing a heavy bench, I'm trying to move my wrist, that's as much as I can move it. Yeah? So my wrist is super supported. So if I'm on the bench and I'm trying to be really strong in my wrist or overhead press or whatever it is, my wrist is now not the limiting factor, because if your wrist bends in a movement, like any type of martial arts, if you get the wrist and you bend it, you lose strength. Your body kind of shuts your strength off, so you don't want to do that, obviously. I'm going to take it off now because it's fucking tight. So in between sets, I would just loosen them and I would put this back on. I wouldn't take them off, so it's loose. Now that's fine, that's comfortable. Then you would re-wrap in between, just before you set. So obviously if you're using these, you're going heavy, you'll be resting for quite a while, if you know how to train. So that's the 3 basic training aids I would use. I would take these to the gym every single day. There is a lot of other ones. I'll probably do some more videos on belts and shoes and various other things as well. But these 3, before you do anything, use, and they're cheap as well. Like you'll probably get all this for like, I don't know, 20, 30 quid or something like that. So training aids, it's not cheating. It will help you get stronger, become more badass. Enjoy.